Teacher here. Someone asked me a question in response to one of my videos, uh, and the question was just a simple question. Uh, Brother teacher, what makes turkey and pork just as bad as beef? They were responding to a statement that I made about beef being bad for you, and then I also followed that with that statement that they asked me about. Pork and turkey are just as bad as beef. So let's revisit the video. First of all, human beings are by nature herbivores. So that really answered that question. We by nature, scientifically, biologically, our physiology is that of a herbivore. We are not animal flesh eaters by nature. It doesn't matter that human beings have been eating meat for thousands of years. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you were designed to eat in the first place. We do not have the dentition, the teeth, the sharp canine teeth throughout our whole mouth, along with the jaw structure to go and tackle any animal in nature, wrestle it to the ground, eat it in the raw, in the flesh. And if we were to try and tackle any animal in the wild, by us being human beings and having thin skin and being more frail than the animals in nature, those animals would probably kill us. So we do not have the physical ability to attack any animal as does a lion, tiger, leopard, cheetah, or any other predator. We don't have that ability. We have to rely on modern technology, inventions such as guns and arrows and knives and swords and things of this sort to hunt down any animal. Okay, so now, with that said, we also do not have the physical ability to digest animal flesh. We were not designed to digest animal flesh. As a matter of fact, if we were to eat meat, the majority of the meat that we consume will not be digested by our system because we don't have enough hydrochloric acid or stomach acid to break down the animal flesh. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to give you a science lesson. All you need to do is follow behind what I'm saying to you. It's really that simple. Let's not make it complicated. We do not have the digestive juice or sufficient or adequate amounts of digestive uh, juice and enzyme to break down animal flesh. So that animal flesh ends up in our bodies putrefying. Yes, animal flesh rots inside of our bodies, inside of our intestines, inside of our colon. And what's the result of that putrefaction? A buildup of toxic gases and acids. And then what happens is that there's a breakdown in the integrity of our intestinal walls, and we end up with leaky gut. Uh, what's the other one? Irritable bowel syndrome, colitis, and Crohn's disease, and things of this nature, because we have food that is being putrefied within our bodies, which is supposed to be an alkaline process going out of the intestines, right? It's not supposed to be putrefaction there or toxic gas and waste. So that's what happens to animal product. That's why we have stomach issues. That's why we have intestinal issues. That's why we have gas and bloating. And that's why we have a lot of eczema and things similar to that, such as acne and so forth, because the poisons are trying to escape out of our bodies. So it goes into our bloodstream and then it comes out through our skin and so forth. Because poison leaves our body out of our noses, expiration or breathing out. It leaves out of our waste, our defecation, or our bowel movements. It leaves out of our urine, and it leaves out of our pores. That's how poison escapes the human body. Okay, now, again, human beings were not designed by nature to eat meat. Now, because we have been eating meat for thousands of years, we have to understand the consequences of eating meat, no matter how good it tastes, no matter how well they lay out the menu and all of the spices and the sauces and things of this nature that we've grown accustomed to throughout our lifetime. So we must understand this. Because of the high demand for beef, chicken, and pork, just to name those three, not only in the grocery stores, but also in the restaurant industry, not only in America, but across the world, they have to have sufficient animals to supply the human consumption. So what do? The animals are not living in their natural habitat. So what they do is they put them on these farms that they create, and they're packed all together so that they can rapidly produce meat, getting the animals to grow fast by giving them what? Hormones. Estrogen type. Now, men definitely don't need any estrogen, any extra estrogen in our bodies. And women definitely don't need any more estrogen in their bodies, especially synthetic. So this is going to cause cancer and all other types of diseases and physical issues with us human beings, because we eat what the animal has been eating and what the animal has been injected with just to get it to grow, the hormones. And because they're in such a deplorable condition, the chickens, the turkeys, and the pigs and the cows, they have so many of them in one place. There's a lot of defecation, there's a lot of disease and sickness. So they begin to give the animals what? Hormones. Outside of that, they give them antibiotics. Guess who's also consuming the antibiotics once those animals go to the market? You are what you eat. So if the animal is eating food that's soy based, corn based, and it has a whole lot of genetically modified organisms in their food, we're eating what they eat. We're also intaking the hormones that's being given to those animals, and we're also intaking the antibiotics into our own system, because if it's in them and we consume them, we're consuming everything that they've also eaten and been injected with. This was really a no-brainer. This is really simple to understand. That is why it is important for us, my friends, to study the world we live in, and not just read books, not just watch videos, not just simply listen to seminars and gurus and even instructors or people who are educators such as myself. Not just do those things, but to become an advocate for that which is right, and to become proactive in your own life and start seeking out those holistic, those organic products, those foods that will be beneficial to us, the human being, that do not contain all of those carcinogenic properties, all of those chemicals and those toxins and those additives and those colors and those artificial this and that. If we start doing the research and then following up on that research through our actions, being proactive, we will be a lot healthier, and so will our family and their future families. It's really that simple. Grow your own garden. If it starts out in a little green space in your own home or in your backyard, do something to help extend your life. This is Brother Teacher. I hope that this video was of value to you. I'm sure it was. Take care.